Manager kicks old woman out of restaurant. Then he suddenly discovers who she really is. For years, this lady came to the same restaurant every week. She always ordered the daily special and it was the highlight of her day. But, one day, she was unceremoniously kicked out of the restaurant by this man. He soon regretted what he had done. Because when he found out who this old lady really was, he got the shock of his life. Every day, this 88-year-old came to the same restaurant. She was always alone and always ate the daily special. It was an outing for her to look forward to. She knew the staff and everyone had a chat with her, while she enjoyed the food. But the last time she was in the restaurant, she was acting very strangely. She was nervous during dinner and did not want to have her usual chat with the staff. To top things off, she walked away without paying. But when the waiter cleared her table, he made a bizarre discovery. The staff realized that the woman was not feeling well and wondered why. They decided not to run after the woman to ask for the money she owed them. After all, she was a regular guest and the bill could be paid some other time. The woman had been coming to their restaurant for 30 years. Always sitting the same table by the window and always at the same time. She was known to all the staff, so everyone realized that something really strange was going on. But what could it be? Bee hadn't always come to the restaurant by herself. At first, Bee came along with her husband. Her husband loved the simple and affordable restaurant because of the good quality food. In the very first week that the restaurant opened, Bee and her husband visited there for dinner. She also often invited her family to eat there together. The restaurant was also rented out specially for her 30-year marriage party. There was delicious food and dancing until the late hours. But the old woman's life was not always this festive. Less than a year ago, after a very short illness, the love of her life passed away. Bee couldn't cope and found it very difficult to be alone. The old woman cried for weeks. She was alone and she had no one to talk to. No one to cuddle with. Slowly, family and friends saw the once cheerful woman grow more and more sad. She was no longer in the mood for anything. She almost didn't eat, and did not want to receive any visitors. But, soon, help came from an unexpected source. There was a letter on the doormat. The letter was written by the restaurant staff, where she could be found every week. They hadn't seen her for a while and offered her a free dinner. The staff had missed her enthusiastic and optimistic presence at the restaurant. It was a difficult step for Bee to take. It would be the first time she went alone. Never before had she set out to eat in the restaurant alone. But she had to. She had to try to get out of that deep valley of sadness that she was in. And she was confident that seeing the restaurant staff would do her some good. For Bee, a lot had changed in the past 3 months, but the restaurant still looked the same, as it always did. She could smell the familiar smells and hear the same noises that came from the kitchen. For the widow, it was like coming home. Her table was reserved for her, and she sat down in her familiar chair. She looked out the window with tears in her eyes. Here I am, she thought. But then the owner of the restaurant sat down with her. He wanted to keep her company. We've known each other for over 30 years, so we won't let you down. He assured her. It was a wonderful evening for Bee. She forgot her grief for a moment as she spoke to the staff. They helped her through the evening, hoping to see Bee again soon. Slowly but surely, Bee climbed out of the deep valley she had been in since her husband's death. She became the cheerful woman she had always been and everyone could tell. But just when she was